cold, starving in the family garage.
She was literally freezing to death. Officers noticed that she had frostbite on her body, as well as she was not being fed properly.
Physical, psychological, and financial abuse in our nursing homes.
What will it take for people to realize that this kind of thing is not acceptable?
And nowhere to turn for help.
One unit, when so many thousands of elders are being abused, is not a lot.
Elder abuse. Does anyone care? A CARP special report.
Welcome to a CARP special report, Elder Abuse, Does Anyone Care? I'm Libby Znaimer. This half hour will take an in-depth look at what police call the silent crime. They figure only 4 in 10 cases are reported. We'll bring you the latest on that horrific case in Scarborough, Ontario, where a son is alleged to have locked his 68-year-old mother in an uninsulated garage for 4 months this winter. And we'll get insight from victims, whistleblowers, advocates, police, and our studio audience. Now, Susan Angar, Vice President of Advocacy at CARP, the Association for Canadians as We Age, is standing by with a guest. Hi, Susan.
Thank you, Libby. I'm here with Leslie Anthony. She's a registered nurse and a caregiver, and thanks to her, we learned about at least 1 case of severe elder abuse in a nursing home. And I think that you'll find the disturbing video very illuminating.
Thanks, Susan. Accused elder abuser Kwong Yan and his wife Ki Tan appeared in court via video link from the jails where they're being held without bail. They face criminal charges after police found Kwong's 68-year-old mother, who suffers from dementia, unconscious in a freezing, filthy garage where she'd been living since November 2010.
She's very fortunate to be alive today, because when ambulance located her, she was unconscious. The conditions were deplorable.
This is the garage where police found the woman. They allege that she'd been living here since November, even though there was plenty of room inside the house, and that's where she was beforehand. What they say they don't know is what made her son and her daughter-in-law move her into this space, which is not fit for human habitation.
It's not for anyone to be living in there at all, on a makeshift type of bed, on a piece of plywood. She's 68 years old. There was a vent with a little bit of heat, but the garage was frozen, so she was literally freezing to death. She was not being fed properly, as well as there was a porta potty that was not being cleaned out.
The accused couple appeared in court briefly via video, with separate lawyers representing them.
Because they're co-accused, so they will be appearing the same date, right. And for the bail review, they will be appearing the same date as well. In terms of conflict of interest, we're concerned potentially they may point fingers at each other, but at the moment, we don't have that concern right now. Right. But just to be safe, that's why they have independent counsels. Yeah.
It's sad, it was sad. When I heard about it, I mean, living on the street, we have never heard or seen such. I've been here 20-something years. Old people like that being treated, what could you do? It's all over the place, so. It could be anywhere else, not only here. God knows how many people are doing it, so.
The victim, Kwong's mother, is still in hospital, but she's now in stable condition. As for the accused couple, they're still being held in jail, but their lawyers are trying to arrange bail. They're due back in court April 14th. Now, if you suspect that any of your relatives or friends are suffering abuse, ask yourself these 4 questions. Are they isolated? Are they ever seen out in the community? What's the condition of the home? Are they taken to the doctor regularly? And are they being fed? And if you think fame and fortune can protect you from elder abuse, think again. Recently, actor Mickey Rooney testified to a Senate committee and revealed that he was a victim of elder abuse.
Elder abuse comes in many, many different forms. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, and financial abuse. Even with success, my monetary thing, called money, was stolen from me. Yet stolen by someone close. Sometimes this happens quickly, but other times it's very, very gradual. Over the course of time, my daily life became unbearable. because all of this seemed to come out of nowhere. Please, for yourself, end the cycle of abuse and do not allow yourself to be silenced anymore. Tell your story to anyone, someone, and let them know. I'm asking you to stop this of elderly abuse. I mean, to stop it and end it and say it's a crime.
Well, Rooney says he suffered in silence for years because he didn't have the courage to speak out.
This is direct threatening, a fist into her face threatening. There was a large bruise on the shoulder following that. This lady also rummaged through her wallet, stole money.
And now we go to Susan Eng, who is standing by with a guest. Susan.
Thank you, Libby. I'm here with Leslie Anthony. Now, if you think that somebody like Mickey Rooney, who has all of those resources at his command, is going to be victimized, think about our most vulnerable in nursing homes. And that's what brought Leslie Anthony to help her friend Norma, who was in a nursing home and a retirement home. And here are some of the images that she had to bring forward to police. Leslie.
This image is in the long-term care facility. It is a caregiver short-fused. This was in the original retirement home. Completely inappropriate handling, rough handling. Norma did weigh 86 pounds. This is direct threatening, a fist into her face threatening. There was a large bruise on the shoulder following that. This lady also rummaged through her wallet, stole money. This lady would like to sit and eat Norma's food night after night, and that is in a retirement home.
Here's a person in a nursing home, in a retirement home, and if it weren't for the fact that you put in a hidden camera, none of this would have come to light.
No. No, absolutely
now,
not.
Your friend Norma, she did not suffer from dementia. Had she complained?
Norma was fully competent and cognitive. We pledged to her husband. They have no family. We would always look out for Norma. When she moved to the retirement home, she was indicating that she was being hurt.
But she was telling you, not the nursing home.
No. She did have a speech impediment, but she would indicate a punch to the stomach.
Right.
We thought, well, maybe it might be a little embellished. And so we made calls to find out what to do. Bottom line was, if we didn't have proof, we can't say anything.
And what happened when you actually complained to the nursing home?
Before we put the camera in, we did say to the director of care, we have concerns. Norma's saying that she is being punched, and we were told that she was a downright liar. And that Norma had gone to her herself and said, punching. So they didn't believe her, and they never looked into it.
So what did you do with the tape after all?
Well, after we had the tape, we went to the police station and said, this is what we have. They were mortified when they saw the images. But it's sort of a gray area. There's nothing in the criminal code that directly addresses rough handling in a long-term care facility. Right. So it's challenging at that time for them to do anything.
So was anybody brought to court over this?
Yes, there was 5 individuals charged.
Right. And are they still working in the nursing home system today?
4 of them are.
Well, that's our problem, isn't it? And do you think things have changed since then?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, that's one of our problems, I think, that when we're talking about this kind of thing, and that's why CARP is looking at ways in which we have a third party involved. If you had not been involved and she'd made her complaints to the nursing home itself, what do you think would have happened?
She did. Yeah. And nothing happened. Right. Even with the long-term care facility, when we divulged the abuse, the one with the pillow, we contacted all the proper authorities, the police. They contacted the Ministry of Health as required. Everyone did an internal investigation. 2.5 weeks later, nothing was found. There was no abuse that occurred.
Really? And so you had to find the evidence in this case. Yes. Had you gone to the police without this evidence, what do you think would have happened?
They told us there was no chance because she was not a good witness.
Well, That's what it is. Now, CARP has been focusing on a duty to respond and to monitor and to report these kinds of incidents. Now, if you hadn't been there, who would have been able to do any kind of reporting in that case?
There is no one.
Well, that's our problem, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Libby?
Thanks a lot, Susan. Well, there's only one safe haven for victims of elder abuse in Toronto and just about a dozen in the entire country. Videographer Darren Maharaj has an exclusive look at Pat's Place.
Darren, here we are. This is Pat's Place, as humble as it is. As you can see, it's a very small single unit. When people come here, it's furnished with some essential furnishings.
So they're limited to only 60 days here?
60 days, yeah, rent-free. They can have guests as long as they're very careful about not revealing the location to the person who has perpetrated the abuse or anyone who may come into contact with that person. So
it's estimated that 4 to 10% of the 65-plus population are victims of elder abuse. Here at Pat's Place, an undisclosed location in Toronto, it's hard to believe there is only one room dedicated to providing the necessary assistance to victims of elder abuse.
One unit, when so many thousands of elders are being abused, is not a lot. I personally think that the governments may be a little wary of putting too much money in it right now because it's so big, and it would mean a lot of money.
You like it the other way?
Well, you know, people do it all different ways. Yeah. I think I've seen this room every which way at this stage. So we've had people say to us, I stand and I twist the lock back and forth because I can lock this door and nobody can get in that I don't want in. And that's how profound this one small unit in Toronto is.
Again, it's hard to believe there are only just under 15 safe haven rooms across Canada set up to assist victims of elder abuse. Of course, the idea is to increase this type of facility through donations. If you can help, please contact Family Services Toronto at the website listed below. Libby?
Thanks a lot, Darren. And now we're going to take some questions from our audience. First up, we have Marcy. Hi, Marcy. What's your question?
Hi. I just wanted to know if I know someone, if I have a client, for example, who I think is being abused either emotionally or financially by a member of the family, and I can tell that they're afraid to say something, but I really think they are being abused. Is there any way that I can get them to talk to me without the member of the family present? Is there any way I can convince them to tell me that there's a problem if I suspect there is? Because I know they'll be very afraid.
They want to tell someone. So, you know, arrange an outing where it's just the two of you and there's no other family members around, and make her comfortable and let her talk and listen. It's the most important thing that these people do is to talk and have someone listen to them.
My question basically is this. Everybody that's watching this program, maybe 14, 24, 35, 50, everybody is going to be old. They're going to become seniors. And if we've got 10% right now of admitted, as far as CARP can discover, that's 460,000 people, okay? And we're looking forward to what, 760,000 in another 10 years. My thing is what is CARP doing for a public awareness program? This is a wonderful program, and this particular program is fantastic. But we've got to get out to the media and right down almost to the school level to tell people that, hey, this is your future, and you're going to be there unless you have an accident or die early. You're going to be there. You're part of this.
That's a big question, and the answer is everything that we can think of. Of course, when we see a horrible case like this one, it's an opportunity to get media awareness and to focus in on the issues and what the gaps are in the responses. Everybody, when you raise this issue, is going to say, of course this is a terrible thing. But do you see the politicians actually offering solutions? No, we haven't seen that. We have to look at the fact that we haven't got enough resources that are dedicated to providing services services to providing a toll-free call-in line, a place where you have a responsibility to report. All of these services require government thinking and so on. But to get the message out, sometimes just shouting at people is not enough. We have to take really strident action, and that includes ensuring that people like the people that we've profiled actually get caught, that they are sent to court, to jail, and they stay in jail. And that sometimes is the kind of message that has to be sent.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks to the audience for those questions. We also did an online poll and asked CARP members their thoughts on elder abuse. The first question we asked was, how much do you agree the criminal code should be revised to include a provision outlining elder abuse? And the results were pretty striking. 71.3% strongly agree, 23.8% agree, and only 2.2% disagree. The second question we asked was, in Canada, do you think elder abuse should be treated as seriously as child abuse and spousal abuse? And once again, there was absolutely no mistaking the results. 68.1% think, yes, elder abuse should be treated as seriously as child abuse and spousal abuse. Nearly 30%, 29.7% think, yes, elder abuse should be treated even more seriously than child abuse and spousal abuse, and only 1.1% say no, elder abuse is not as serious as child abuse and spousal abuse.
85% is financial abuse. Not saying that there isn't physical abuse, it just a matter of whether it's reported or not, but the main focus right now is financial abuse.
One of the key remedies that people are asking for is a single national hotline tied into local police departments, and yet one still does not exist. CARP will continue to lobby the government until this happens. In the meantime, we want to stress to you that if you see any act of elder abuse, be sure to report it to the local authorities. You can do so by logging on to www.carp.ca, where we've added a report abuse button at the top of the right-hand side of the page. A simple click will provide you with a direct link to Crime Stoppers, and if you report through Crime Stoppers, your report will remain anonymous. And now we're going to be going back to Susan Ng, who is here with another guest from Hamilton Police, Detective Mike Page. Susan.
Yes, I'm here with Detective Mike Page of the Hamilton Police Force, the Department for Victims of Crime Unit. Now, what's important about your position, Detective, is that you in fact are a detective. That is, you investigate these crimes. Could you just tell us about some of the cases that you've had to take on of late?
Mainly in Hamilton, and probably broadly, 85% is financial abuse. Not saying that there isn't physical abuse, it just a matter of whether it's reported or not. But the main focus right now is financial abuse.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you are dealing, do you deal with physical abuse issues? Do they come forward? Do people feel that they're comfortable asking you to take a role?
They do come forward. They're not quite as reported as the other issues that we see, but they do come forward to us.
Now, you've been specializing in this area for some time?
Yes, we in Hamilton, we have two areas that we deal with. We have a senior support office, which is a division, one officer per division. Their main focus is education, and education through the seniors community, church groups, seniors buildings, that type of thing, and they like to spread the word that we're actually here to help, but also about the abuse issues that we see. And typically, once you do a presentation, you will get some feedback down the road from somebody that was there.
The focus we have is to make sure that when people do make a complaint, that in fact the allegation eventually gets the best crack at being leading to a conviction. What kind of special resources do you bring forward to make sure that you are investigating these things adequately and ensuring the best possible results?
Well, we have, as I say, the senior support office, and we have our unit. Detective Tracy Mueller and myself are in the Crimes Against Seniors unit. Mm-hmm. And it is a specialized unit. There are pieces of legislation that you deal with in that unit that you don't deal with while on patrol.
Well, give us an example of that.
Power of attorney is probably the most glaring one. But out of power of attorney, if there's financial abuse through power of attorney, there are other forms of abuse that are usually attached to it.
You have to have some specialized knowledge around the issue in order to make sure that your investigations drum up the appropriate facts and evidence.
Yes, you need to know the legislation, first of all, and there's various forms of legislation through the Long-Term Care Act, Residential Tenancies Act, that type of thing, that you don't normally deal with in day-to-day policing. Right. And power of attorney is another one. You have to know the issues surrounding power of attorney.
Now, we've done a little bit of research across the country, and we noticed that not many police forces actually have investigators for elder abuse. I see a lot of PR companies and areas and so on, but I don't see too many detectives. Would you say that your unit is fairly unique, or is it becoming a new department?
Yeah, it's unique. We started back in 95, 96 just to see if there was any reason to have somebody looking specifically at seniors. Right. And then 2003, 2004, the Crimes Against Seniors unit came in, and it's a busy position. I'll just say that. Now,
as a final question, are you satisfied with the kind of convictions and sentencing that you have been getting with your cases?
That's a double-edged sword.
Of course it is.
You always want to see more, but yeah, usually there's a little bit of a harsher tone taken when it is someone in the seniors community that's been abused.
We've read some of the court cases, and I don't see anybody using the sentence exacerbation clause whatsoever. Is that something that you think would help to get better sentencing?
Could be, yes. That's normally up to the Crown to look at that end of it.
To pursue.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of your expertise. Libby?
Okay, thanks to Susan Eng and her guests, Leslie Anthony and Detective Mike Page. Remember, it's up to us to take care of our elders and protect the most vulnerable. If you suspect elder abuse, please report it. And join us on Facebook, where we're keeping the discussion going. Thanks for watching. I'm Libby Znaimer.
Well, that was pretty interesting.
But if someone came to you and said, my father is being abused, what would you advise? What steps do you